There is a reason that women are so attracted to men that are muscular and strong and have really honed the physical structure of their bodies and why it is viewed as being so attractive. And it's not for a superficial reason, despite what the internet may think. So women's bodies, when they first come into contact with a partner that they would be sort of like opening to the possibility of it being a long-term partnership with, is they'll look for signals in the body as to whether or not they feel safe with this male. Women's bodies only open up and can effectively experience the deepest levels of joy when it comes to intimacy as well, when they feel safe with a male. And muscular bodies and men that have really honed their ability to hold the strength within their own body display a physical manifestation of safety because they would be able to physically protect the woman. It's a physical display of strength. And so within that, because the woman can see there's a physical display of strength, it leans into her being able to be softer and more receptive, and as a result of that, open up more deeply to the connection, which means there would be a much higher level of satisfaction because she feels safe with him. Women's bodies are much more physically vulnerable than men's. Men have a much higher level of testosterone. It's much easier for them to build muscle. They're much stronger. And there is a reason for that. And so when a man displays that he has honed this ability to be able to maintain the strength within his body, he automatically becomes more preferable as a mate. And for women, their vulnerability, again, because it lies in the physical body, they desire to have a man that can help them to feel safer in that way. In the same way that men have a much higher vulnerability in the emotional centers, and they desire to have a woman that can help them to feel nurtured emotionally. Just to sort of drive this message a little bit deeper, there was a study that was done on male predators that went for children. And obviously, we're not going into the psychology of that within this particular video. But in the study, the men that were in that position that chose to go down that route would look for prospective victims, and they would assess not the mother of the child but the father before making a decision as to whether or not to pursue that situation. They would look at the physical strength and how much of a threat the father figure, the stepfather was in the decision-making process to make that choice towards the victim that they chose to go towards. And I think one of the biggest issues that we have in modern society is why people don't make these connections is that physical attractiveness is isolated to a superficial construct, i.e. the trends change to do with attractiveness, or people focus so much of their energy on being the most attractive, or thinking that, in order to get something, they have to change themselves to become more attractive. The focus is on the wrong place. When you tend to your body, you tend to your health, you treat your body with respect and love, you tend to your mental health, and you listen to the body's cues about what is actually going to be nourishing for you, then you become more attractive, because from a primal space, you become a much more favorable mate because you are in a healthy and abundant state. You are able to carry your genetics forward in a way that is going to produce very powerful offspring. And this is always what leans into sort of biological factoring when it comes to sourcing mates. Even if your desire is not to have children, you are always going to be seeking from a biological standard of what is going to produce powerful offspring, powerful creations in the relationship. And so if you're not tending to your body in a way where you are treating it like a temple, you are waking up every day and you're having a Red Bull and a strawberries and cream vape for breakfast and thinking that's going to suffice, you are robbing yourself of those experiences that are actually going to be way more fulfilling. Because when it comes to polarity between men and women, when a man is in his power and a woman is in her power, i.e. she plays into the natural rhythms of the body and strengthens them in the way that they are designed to be strengthened, in the way that the male does that with his own body, polarity increases, sexual chemistry increases, satisfaction in relations increases, joy and synchronicity in the relationship increases. And so all of these things play into a much higher level of well-being, not only in yourself, but a much higher level of enjoyment and joy in life in general. There is also a huge difference, and something you have to remember when it comes down to physical attractiveness that people are learning how to discern with in the modern age because of the rise of things like social media, is that when you pursue physical attractiveness for superficial means, i.e., you are needing to get external validation of your worth, you need to feel as if you are the most attractive in the room, or you are doing it for, say, for example, a man is, going to the gym because he wants to have lots of options when it comes to women, and it is not coming from a deeply connected and spiritual space. It is the pursuit of something that is very void and something that comes from the ego. When you are spiritually connected, you understand the godliness of being connected to your body in that way and how your body can be of service. When your body is in service, you naturally absorb and start to inherently build more strength from within, and that then manifests in the way that a man's body starts to change when it comes to the manifestation of physical strength as well.
This is why I stopped giving that generic red pill advice. Because the thing about me, if I make red pill videos, let's say, I stopped that because there's no secret way to say something to a girl. You cannot go up to a girl and say, "You see the way your hair is flipped to this side? It will look better if it was flipped that way." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I love you so much." No, it's no secret way to do. That's why I stopped giving the red pill advice, right? The actual game is you have to be attractive. Your sex appeal must be high. And how can you become more? What is the main way to become more attractive as a man? You need to appear masculine. How do you do that? Get jacked. Having muscles is the number one staple of masculinity. I tell people this all the time. Being jacked is the number one staple of masculinity. You even see when she says it is even deeper than just a superficial level. It's like a biological level. That's why men are naturally more stronger, more, faster. They have more force output, testosterone, all these things because that is their natural strengths. And I say this all the time. You must play with your strengths. You must play with your strengths. Life is unfair. That's cool. If you are naturally taller than this person, you should use your height as your advantage. If you look better than this person, you should use your looks in a certain type of way or whatever it is. If you're more intelligent, you should. If you have more connections, you should use those connections in order to make sure you succeed. If you are a man, you should use your masculinity. You should use your muscles. You should grow them. When you get jacked, your sex appeal skyrockets. The same way we see a girl who's feminine, she got a fat butt. We like, dang, she look good. Her sex appeal went up. Our points go up. We don't have to particularly be pretty in order to attract women. I know some ugly dudes, but they know how to fight and they have big trap, big shoulders, they have muscles. Now they're extremely attractive and they get a bunch of girls. That is how it works. Now, some of y'all gonna be in the comments, I'm a bodybuilder, and girls and only other men compliment me. You 350 pounds, all muscle, 2% body fat. 3,000 pounds. Of course, only dudes, because that's overkill. You're doing too much. Wearing tighty whities and 3,000 pounds, all muscle. Come on, bro. Why you think girls not like, oh my gosh. That's OD. It's levels to this game. You don't gotta look like Ronnie Coleman in his prime. You don't have to look like that. But however, you do need muscles as a man, though. You do need muscles. Women feel naturally protected around you, and other men don't want to mess with you. And if a girl is with you and they see that other men respect you or other men are looking at you like, wow, in an admirable sense, these women love social proof as well. So they are more into you now. It's all a game. It's everything. Life in general is basically a game. You can increase your odds to do anything in this world. Anything in this world, right? You must get muscles as a man. This is the number one staple of masculinity. I don't care what nobody says. This is the number one staple of masculinity. Now, obviously, you cannot rewire. If you're a goofball, you're cooked. If you some goofball nigga, obviously you ain't gonna get no biddies. It don't matter if you get jacked because you're a goofball, gang. Fix that a little bit. Fix your desperation, your porn addictions. Fix all the BS first. But having muscles will put you up there. Will improve your dating life. Will improve your sex appeal. You need muscles. Play with your strengths. Play with your strengths. Whatever your strengths are, use them to your advantage. I can tell you multiple stories when I will be with a girl, I will be chilling. when she see I have muscles, like we could be all right. So let's say I met a girl like a few months ago, right? Winter time, I met a girl. I got a big jacket on, whatever the case is. I'm talking to her. I get her number. She see me in person. She think I'm attractive, whatever, right? We will be on a phone calling FaceTime. I mean, like on the phone regular, right? So she didn't really see me much. She didn't have my Instagram or anything. She didn't know I had like 800K on Instagram. She didn't know all that stuff. She just knew me in person, see me in person. We talked. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Going to the gym." She said, "Oh, you go to the gym?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Can I join?" So we did a little gym date. When she pulled up and seen that your boy was jacked, she was bro. I would not forget how her face blew up, and she was like, "What the bro? I did not know you were so jacked." She's like, "Oh my god!" She was all smiling. She couldn't stop looking at me. She couldn't stop touching my arms. I'm like, "Whoa." I'm the same nigga you seen last week, but you didn't know I had muscles. You didn't know I had moose glaze. Now you see I got moose glaze, and you like, dang. This happens all the time. I could be out doing anything. A girl would even sometimes be with her boyfriend, and they'll just be like, "Oh, he's strong." Pause. I remember one time it was a white girl and a white boy. I don't know what their dynamic was. I don't know why he ain't break up with that girl. We at 7-Eleven or Quick Check, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, right? So we at 7-Eleven or Quick Check. I'm there doing my thing, getting food, obviously, or getting like whatever I'm getting. So she walks by and like, wow, I wish my boyfriend looked like that. He was like, oh man, oh yeah, man. He's like, oh frig, let me take my girl away from you for you end up piping her. You probably got a big dick too. Yeah. I'm like, whoa. And she was like, I wish my boyfriend. Well, why can't you look like him? And his excuse was he's black. That's why he's so much. Why can't you look like him? Then you'd be able to pick me up and you'd be able to. I'm like, she's violating, first of all. Second of all, this goes to show you playing in his face in plain sight. He needs to get jacked. And he obviously ain't say no BS because I'm jacked. So he like, I can't even say what I want to say because dude look like he gonna put hands. He look like he gonna do me. That's how it works. Body game is key. Body game is key. So make sure you get jacked. And if you want to build confidence, presence, and respect, and an aesthetic physique without a gym, without any equipment at all, just from the comfort of your own home, guaranteed in 90 days, build an aesthetic physique. Link in the description. Top pin comment. I'll teach you exactly how to do so.